He has finally done it, and Hendrick Motorsports, I can officially say, is close to back. I wanted to say back, but I don't have the. It's not there yet. We only have 2 wins on the season for Hendrick Motorsports. There's a long way to go, but it's nice to see. It's nice to finally see that Hendrick Motorsports looks like over the last month or 2, I can be proud of them again. And they should be proud of themselves. They've worked hard. So NASCAR at Chicagoland. Let's get the few basics right out of the way. First and foremost, I want to keep you guys waiting the entire race review. It was a good race, depending on, well, the package we raced. That's the best race you're going to get with the package that we have at this track. Was it better than Kansas? No. I put a tweet out, and some of you thought I was talking about this is the best race you're going to get with this package overall anywhere. It's not what I was talking about. That's the best race you're going to get with this package at Chicagoland. Luckily, the race was delayed because of a massive freaking storm. Well, not luckily for the race fans there. Obviously, I don't want anyone who goes to a race to have to then sit there for 4 hours and wait for the race to start. But for the viewer at home and just primetime Sunday night, and for the package that we have, it worked out that the race was at night. I think if it was a day race, it would have worked out too. I don't think there was that much of a difference for this track in particular, but the track was nice. I think Chicagoland is one of the best mile and a halves on the circuit right now. It proved last year and this year. That the top, the middle, and the bottom are so equal, and that's something nice to see. So, race played out really well. I enjoyed it, and then obviously, as you guys know, Hendrick Motorsports really showed up. So I think for a lot of Hendrick Motorsports fans, that was a good part of the race. A lot of the people up towards the front didn't win a race this entire season. We did not see Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. really at all this entire race. Kyle Busch got into the wall early on, and from that point on, his race was kind of crazy. He had a really fast car at one point, but then he had smoke in the cockpit, and he was basically running around on fire. So it was really interesting, the race Kyle Busch had. And Martin Truex Jr. was just pretty non-existent all day. He was top 10, top 5 occasionally, but for his standards, pretty non-existent. And the race started off with a bang. Jimmie Johnson went straight to the lead. And that was before the rain came. They got 10 laps in, and Jimmy goes straight to the lead, and you start getting the freshness in. And now I'm definitely not going to hide from the fact that a lot of NASCAR fans get tired of the same old, same old. If I told you 10 years ago that Jimmie Johnson would be one of the most liked drivers in NASCAR, you would think I'm crazy, because Jimmie Johnson dominated, and NASCAR fans hate domination. Now that Jimmy isn't dominating, they want him to do well. It's just the way that most NASCAR fans are, and I don't like that, but it is what it is. So when you get a race where you don't have guys like Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr., who dominate a lot, I'll even throw Joey Logano in there, Kevin Harvick too, when you have a race in there where those guys don't seem like they're dominating, they're not, all of them are running towards the front, you just tend to see fans like it more just because of the natural. If you had guys like Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney, if you just throw those guys up there, some of the more of the fans are just going to like it just because of the driver that's there. Kevin Harvick was up there during most of this race. He was leading most of this race, but in Kevin Harvick fashion most of this year, something would go wrong for him, and it did. It went wrong multiple times for him, especially when he hit the wall for a flat tire, and then NASCAR threw a caution literally like a second after he hit the wall, and that was actually the reason for the caution. Probably the most manipulative bullshit caution I've seen. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a car kiss the wall or just slap it a little bit or ride along it. Kyle Busch did it earlier in the race. I mean, it happens to everyone, and that was the first time in a long time I've seen NASCAR immediately throw the caution, and that makes me question the integrity of the race calling, because why would we throw it out? What's the reason? NASCAR, you don't give me any favors in this when I'm trying to defend you when you make stupid calls like that. So yeah, the race consistency there in terms of the caution call there, that was stupid. The reason why it was stupid and played a big deal is because they brought out a caution in the final stage, and the final stage usually doesn't have a caution because there's no stage breaks, so it manipulated the race in a way that I think NASCAR wants more cautions. I'm just saying, it just seemed very odd that they threw the caution out. So when that caution came out and Kevin Harvick was pretty much out of the race, Chase Elliott, who was battling for a stage 2 win at that point, also out of the race due to a really weird pit stop where the gun on the right rear got stuck underneath the car, and it was complicated. So Harvick and Elliott are basically out of the race. They can't get themselves back up there. And then you saw let's talk about Jimmie Johnson real quick. Jimmie Johnson ran top 5 the entire race. He didn't run outside the top 5. This is what I have been waiting for. This is what I have been asking for. This is what I've been waiting to see. Can the 48 team, can Jimmie Johnson be Jimmie Johnson, be the 48 team of old? That is, lead laps, run top 5, compete for wins. Today, what did he do? He led laps, he ran top 5 all race, he competed for a win. Yes, he didn't compete at the end that Larson and Bowman did, but he competed. He was in the top 5. He raced for the lead all day long. That's what I've been waiting for for a freaking long time, and it was nice to see. Also, before I jump to the end of the race, the end of stage 1 was hilarious because right rear tires were blowing out everywhere. SHR, something in that setup, Boyer, Suarez, Harvick, all of them, they all had some sort of freaking right rear tire issue. It was kind of funny, so that was a little bit weird. But let's jump to the end of the race with Larson and Alex Bowman. So Alex Bowman, a guy who I've never rated that highly. I personally have thought he was one of the weaker links at Hendrick. Not for any particular reason. I'm not saying he's a bad driver. I'm just saying at Hendrick, when you have like Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson, William Byron's a young talent. I just didn't see Bowman maybe cracking his way through there. But over the last few weeks, I've been saying for Alex Bowman to really prove himself, he has to continue running well. He had that string of 3 straight second place finishes. Did very well there. Now he just had to finish it off. He made a few mistakes at little stage ends where he just didn't run the right line or made a mistake here or there, pushing a little bit too hard. And it looked like that was going to happen again today because in the final 20 laps, he really starts giving up a lot of ground to Larson. Larson had to chase him down from 3 seconds behind in that final stint. So that was a little bit worrying for Bowman to give up that entire time. He doesn't seem like he's blocking Larson's lane, and when he finally does, he just doesn't seem like he has the car. Gets passed with only a few laps to go, but what was really impressive with Alex Bowman the moment, that he really earned his stripes, and I think now he deserves to be taken seriously in the Cup Series, if you didn't take him seriously. He deserves to be in that conversation of, he's now a Cup winner. He's been running well all season. Maybe he can really compete more and more. Is when he got passed and he fought back. I guarantee a lot of us thought when he got passed, that was it. The race was over. Larson was just going to take away his line. But Bowman drove it into turn 1 and 2 hard on the bottom lane. You could see the car yaw out. He was loose. He was sliding that thing, getting everything he could out of it. And he got right to the edge of Larson's quarter panel. He got so close. Didn't hit it at first. And then side drafted aggressively. And he did making contact with Larson. But didn't cut the tire, which was nice. And then he just sent it into turn 3 after getting that hard side draft, and he was able to clear Larson and then drive away. That moment right there, that was it. That was the moment where Bowman grew up. And he's not the youngest driver anymore, but that in his Cup career, that's the moment he grew up. And now he has to be taken seriously. And that was a really, really good result for Alex Bowman. Yes, Alex Bowman wins the race. Hendrick Motorsports finally wins without Chase Elliott being in victory lane. When was the last time you could say Hendrick Motorsports won a race and it wasn't Chase Elliott? It's been almost 3 years, I think. It's been a long time since that's happened. Let's go to the race results where we can break down each driver. Alex Bowman, hey, first career win. Good for him in the playoffs. Larson in second, Logano third, Jimmy fourth, Keselowski, Blaney, Jones, Byron, Truex, and Austin Dillon round out your top 10. I think everyone here had a decent day. There are a few drivers I think we just got to focus on for this one, especially Alex Bowman. Again, I think we already talked about him. He proved himself. We got the first career win. He belongs now. He belongs. Larson, Logano, Johnson. So Larson gets in second place again. Again, I know some people are getting critical on Larson for not being able to finish out races. Me personally, I still don't believe Chip Ganassi Racing is a top team. I want to see Larson in a top team, like a JGR, an SHR. Can I throw Hendrick back in there? I don't know. A Penske. I want to see Larson in something like that because I have always felt Larson has gotten more out of the equipment than that's actually there. Listen, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, all these guys, they don't praise this kid for no reason. He's not even a kid anymore. He's a veteran at this point, but they don't praise him all the time for no reason. He has so much talent. I want to see him in a little bit better ride. I just personally think CGR is not the best in the Cup Series. I don't think they compete with the other teams. You put it out on a level playing field. So another great run for Larson. Unfortunately, it wasn't able to close out the deal, so it can be critical there. Joey Logano with a pretty quiet third place finish. Did a good job throughout the entire race. Had some few incidents with Kyle Busch and Truex and diving in 3 and 4 being very aggressive, but that's the way Joey Logano races. Jimmy Johnson, I think we talked about him a little bit, but Jimmy Johnson, finally, if we could just get this consistency and if he can win a race, that's all I want. I just want to see Jimmy win a race. That's it. He's won 83 of them. I need to see more. I need to see him win just one more. It's been too long, and it was just nice to see the 7-time champion up there. I mean, he's one of the. We got to get him up there. I actually thought sometimes during the race you saw his inexperience running up towards the front with this package. And he's never up towards the front with this package. And sometimes you could kind of see at the beginning of the race, he was kind of feeling it out, where he was going to run, how he was going to do, kind of how he defends, how he goes to attack. So I thought that was really funny that we saw a 7-time champion kind of just like experimenting with how he has a car now. He has a car that can actually compete. So that was really nice. Brad Keselowski, interesting race, gets the top 5. I don't think much to really say on him. Same with Ryan Blaney. It was competitive stage 1, kind of just floated around. I mean, this race was really dominated by the Chevys and the Hendrick guys. The Ford guys weren't really up there except for Kevin Harvick. So not much to talk about with them. Same thing goes to Eric Jones, just kind of chilled around in the top 10. William Byron, again, he showed his speed. He went from the back to the front, got to the lead, was competing with his teammates up there and with Kevin Harvick. But I feel like an 8th place might be a little disappointing for him. I don't know, just a tiny bit. Especially when your teammate wins and then your other teammate gets 4th. Chase Elliott was up there battling for stage 2 win, and yes, Byron was up there, but the thing with William Byron is that it just seems like he can't bring home the finish sometimes maybe he deserves. He's just like late in the race, he just kind of falls a little bit. So if he could just get the better finishes, I think he's been running very well the last few races. Martin Truex Jr., like I think I talked about earlier, him and Kyle Busch didn't dominate this race, which I think a lot of people liked, and he just kind of floated around the top 10. And Austin Dillon with the 10th place finish. RCR is getting better, but that's really all there is right now. They're getting better, they're not there yet. Chase Elliott battled back to an 11th place finish. He got, again, that pit stop kind of ruined the rest of his race, but for Chase Elliott, he's had a solid season, probably wants to do a little bit better, and the fact that his teammates are not doing better, Chase knows he has the equipment. Let's see what he could do. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 12th, basically carrying Roush Fenway Racing. Kurt Busch in 13th, Kevin Harvick 14th, Denny Hamlin in 15th. Kevin Harvick, again, this has been the story of a season. I mean, he can lead a race, he can control a race, and then something will happen. A flat tire, a pit stop mistake, something will happen to him. And part of it is their fault, part of it isn't. I think there's definitely something within the SHR setups that have been showing they're pretty aggressive. Sometimes Harvick just doesn't have the car. Sometimes when they do have the car, something just goes wrong with a flat tire or something like that. It's no coincidence that pretty much all the SHR cars today had right rear tire failures. So very aggressive on the setups, and they're just having bad luck. And bad luck combined with just being aggressive and just bad things happening he's been having a tough season for his standards. Denny Hamlin in 15th, Eric Almirola 16th. In 17th is Ryan Newman, Buescher, Hemrick, and McDowell round out the top 20. And then the rest of the results, Menard, Kyle Busch. You see Kyle back here. Tough day. He's smoking the cockpit. A bunch of weird things happening. So weird race for Kyle Busch. He has 4 wins in the season. No one's going to feel better than him. David Reagan, Daniel Suarez, Bubba Wallace, Chastain DeVandetto, Priest, Tift, LaJoy, Landon Castle, Bailey Curry, Josh Bilicki, Sorensen, Dillon, I can never pronounce his last name. I know in the comments you guys have told me how to pronounce it. I can't. I need to listen to like the announcer say it. I'm gonna go BJM in 36th, and Boyer and Quinn Hoof in 37th, 38th. Boyer had the right rear tire issue that just took him out of the race when it destroyed his car. And those are the race results. Again, it was I think a solid race, and what I'm excited for is now we are going to Daytona, which I think will be a good race with the package. I think this is going to be the first time at Daytona they don't have the restrictor plates, so it's going to be the tapered space. It's basically restrictor. You know what I mean. Higher downforce, a lot more drag. We'll see how it goes. It might be a wreck fest if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. decides to show up what he did last year and do it again. But it should be fun. I will be there next weekend. So if you guys see me around, say hi. I'll be walking around the infield, grandstands. But during the race, I'll probably be in the infield. But before the race, I'll be going all over the place. So if you see me, just say hi. If you recognize me, that'd be kind of cool. Come up, say hi. We'll have a talk about the sport, the racing, your driver. That's really cool. I'll just be walking around. I'm not going to be anywhere specific, so I'm just a normal person out there just enjoying the race weekend like everyone else. Hopefully a good crowd shows up. I know last year I was kind of surprised by how little people showed up, but I expect that because, Daytona in the summer, it's hot. Could rain, so you never know. But hopefully the weather keeps off and it's going to be a good race. I'll be there next weekend. And for this weekend, again, I think we touched on everything. The few really good points is Jimmy running well, Bowman getting his first win, different people running up towards the front, so just felt a little bit fresh, and a solid race on a solid track that has aged. It's in its prime age right now. At the top, the middle, and the bottom can all be kind of the same no matter what package you use, and it was a good race. You were able to see driver talent take over again. We saw Larson versus Bowman. We saw 2 drivers who had to go with talent and not just some crap where it's full throttle and you can't really do anything. We had to see talent, picking lanes and stuff. Yes, obviously we'd like the dirty air to be less when the leader can just take away the line, but talent. Saw the racing talent there, driver talent, and that determined the race win, so that was really nice. Comment down below what you thought of the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Comment down below. Subscribe if you're new. All that stuff. Twitter and Instagram is @RealRadman. Yeah, @RealRadman. So same thing as the YouTube channel. I will see you guys later. And again, hopefully I can see you guys, some of you guys next week at Daytona. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
I can't change. Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I try, my love, she keeps me warm.